Welcome back, my poets, to Poetry 101. We are going to start with a quick question. What do the two movies by Disney, specifically, so not any other adaptation with this name, Robin Hood and Zootopia have in common? It's not the fact that they both have foxes. There's a different thing that they have in common. So what do those two have in common? I will wait. Go comment in the captions. Okay, that was your time. If you guessed, and it is in the caption of this video, personification, they both have personification, you get bonus points! Congratulations! Your bonus points are non-transferable in the Abby Ham store, because I don't have a store yet. You can buy my books, though, at lulu.com. There's pictures of the covers in the background. That was a side tangent. I haven't scripted any of this, so obviously. Okay, personification is when you take something that is not a person and you give it person-like features. Examples of this is in the movie Zootopia. The animals are kind of like people. They have jobs. They live in a city. They probably pay taxes. I say probably because I know some of them animals in Zootopia were not paying their taxes. I'm looking at you, Duke Weaselton. Or another example in the Disney version of Robin Hood, not Robin Hood Men in Tights, Disney version of Robin Hood, the fox can shoot a bow and arrow. That's not something foxes can do. That's a human feature. That is what personification is. Animals is a very basic version of this. Not to shame. Basic does not mean I'm shaming you. Basic just means you can think of it pretty easily. A bigger, less specific version of this is like when you're on Instagram and you see someone who's doing art and it's like drawing different brands as people. And then they're drawing like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr as like people. That's personification. Instagram is not a person. And they just drew Instagram as a person. That is personification. A more vague version of this is taking a concept. Think of Mother Nature. Nature is not a mother. It is a concept. It is a thing. Not even like a physical thing. Mother Nature, person, personification. Think of Father Christmas. Christmas is not a person. It is a time of year. It is a holiday. Father Christmas, person, personification. Another very well-known version of this is death. If death was a person, I have a poem, I think. Don't quote me on this. I think it's in the in-between, another one of my books. You can check them out at lulu.com. I have a poem about like death being like a little girl. Like what if a little girl was death? Like she is so sad and she doesn't want to kill people, but she does because the time is up. She's just doing her job. But you would feel a little more sympathetic about the concept of death if you were picturing a little girl instead of like a creepy old guy with a giant sword thing. The scythe? Is that what it's called? I'm a Greek mythology nerd. Why don't I know this? I say I'm a Greek mythology nerd. I'm a Percy Jackson stan. Those are two different things. Shout out Epic the Musical as well. I will get caught up on you. Video coming soon. Anyways, train of thought, coming back around the bend now. Personification of death. Death as a person. That is personification. Some of this is easier to think of if you are a Greek mythology stan, because you're like, oh no, death was a person. His name is Thanatos. And I'm like, that's mythology. It's not real. Neither is personification. So here we are. Instagram, not a person. I'm going to read a poem, though, by Emily Dickinson about if death was a person. This is an example of personification. I hope you're not finding me annoying or condescending with my repetition of things. It's for me. It's not for you. Keeping myself on track here. This is Because I Could Not Stop for Death by Emily Dickinson. Y'all didn't see that. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but ourselves and immortality. We slowly drove, he knew no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility. Civilité? Slant rhyme? Okay. We passed the school where children strove, at recess in the ring. We passed the fields of gazing grain. We passed the setting sun. Okay, maybe these don't rhyme, because this is... Emily, what are we doing here? I should have read this before recording, but here we are. Or rather, he passed us. The dews drew quivering and chill. Only gossamer, my gown, my tippet, only tulle. We passed before a house that seemed a swelling of the ground. The roof was scarcely visible, the cornice in the ground. Cornice is a word I've Googled and marked. It is an ornamental molding around the ceiling. The more you know. There's one more stanza. I'm so sorry for all these pauses. Since then, 'tis centuries, and yet feels shorter than the day. I first surmised the horses' heads were towards eternity. Again with the slant rhymes, it is messing with my brain. Is she British? Maybe if she's British, this makes more sense. But this is a story about someone who's like, I'm too busy to die. I cannot take a break. And he's like, okay, well, I'll stop here, and then you just get in. And she's like, okay, we'll just do that. And I don't... never mind. I have no thoughts on that. That is an example of personification. If death was a person, and she was too busy for death, death would stop and pick her up along the way, since she could not stop along the way just to die. You know, that's not like a thing. If death was a person, he would have to stop for you, and she couldn't stop for him, etc., etc. I will stop blabbering now. Write a poem about personification. With personification, not about personification. Personification is the task of making something human, like a cat. That is my about personification. Make a poem using personification. Examples, if you wanted to do something easier, try to write a poem about a cat that is also kind of human-like. An example of this would be saying like, oh, the cat sang, or the tree leapt. Those are things that a cat and tree doesn't do. Well, I guess cats could kind of sing, but like not by human standards. Make something that is not human, like a plant of some sort or an animal of some sort, do something that is human in your poem, or write about a metaphysical concept. Now, I'm not going to make you do death. It's been done to death by me. Done to death. You can do something like time, or spring, fall, winter, summer, if that was a person. Like, think Persephone comes up to the world, if you know the story of Persephone. She comes up to the world and now it is summer, and she is now making it summer. What would someone making it summer look like? That is the prompt. If you do write your poem, please, 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 send it to me on my Instagram, @officialjustinstrikes. I would love to read your poem. I would love to see what you were writing. You can also check out my poetry and learn more about the books I write there. That is it for today. You can watch the rest of the series here. You can subscribe here. We have one more Poetry 101 video for the semester, and then we will be back next year with more videos. And yeah, that's it.